Welcome to the First Journey and Dad Football Podcast. We are getting ready for the NFC and the AFC Championship games coming up, where the NFC Championship is what, Journey? The Saints.
Oh, and the Rams.
And the Rams. And the AFC Championship would be
the Patriots and the Saints.
And the Chiefs.
Saints
are in the NFC.
I keep getting those confused.
Hey, it happens. So the first game that we're going to... Whoa! Hey, we're new to this. So the first one that we're going to talk about, the first game that's going to be on TV, would be the Rams and the Saints. The NFC Championship game. And as a Viking fan, I'm a little sad because I recall last year at about this time, the Vikings were playing the Eagles, and I was feeling pretty confident and pretty good. And if I recall, that first drive, Case Keenum led them down, touchdown Kyle Rudolph, and I thought, oh my goodness, is it actually going to happen? And then they were horrible the rest of the game. So
yeah, that kind of sums up the Vikings season.
That sums up the story of the Vikings. So we're going to talk about the Saints and the Rams. And so in this podcast, one of us is going to take one team. And so in the NFC Championship, Journey, what team do you think is going to come out on top?
I think the Rams.
The Rams. Yes. I am going to take the Saints. So are you going to make your case for the Rams first, or do you want me to go first with the Saints?
You can go with the Saints first.
I'm going to go with the Saints. So the Saints, for one, they have an unbelievable advantage playing at home, playing in the Dome. Drew Brees and Sean Payton, I don't know if that combination has lost a home game in the playoffs yet. I will tell you that I'm not a giant fan of Sean Payton. I think he's kind of a poor sport. Again, this probably goes back to last season when he gave the Viking choke fans and all that stuff before the Minnesota Miracle, but not a big fan of Sean Payton. However, I am a big fan of Drew Brees. And I think the one real interesting note to both games that are coming up tomorrow is you have on one side a very veteran quarterback, Drew Brees, who just turned 40, playing against a very young, inexperienced quarterback. And in this case, you're talking Jared Goff. So in every case, I'm going to take that experience. So, Drew Brees is a huge advantage. Playing in the Dome is a huge advantage. The Saints have probably one of the most dynamic running backs. Kamara is a guy that can catch the ball, can run the ball. But I think the biggest difference maker is going to be two things. It's going to be playing in the Dome, playing at home, and those Saints fans who are crazy. And then the other one would be the fact that Drew Brees has been here, has won a Super Bowl, has experience. I think anybody who's 40 years old or older tends to be just a little bit smarter than you young yippers-snappers. So, what do you got for the Rams?
Well, okay, I agree with the Drew Brees being more experienced and stuff, but I think that the Rams will rise to the occasion because you're going for a Super Bowl. Obviously, you're going to try your best, and I feel like the Rams have enough willpower and a good running back and a good quarterback to get it down the field and pull off a win.
You like Todd Gurley?
Yeah.
You think he's the best running back on the field?
Like for the Rams or like in general?
Do you think he's going to be the best running back in that game in comparison to Kamara and Mark Ingram?
Yeah, because I think he has more experience than the other two.
Well, he may have been drafted the same year Kamara has, but I like Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think the Dome and being that it's in the Saints Stadium is going to have an impact?
Yeah, I think it might get to their heads, but also, I don't know if it's true for every team, but the being in an opposite stadium might give them more motivation, and like the fans screaming for them to like mess up. I feel like maybe it could give them good motivation.
Do you think the Saints could be overconfident and choke?
Yes.
Okay. So now we're going to predict the score. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
I'll go for it first.
Okay.
I think Rams 35-25. I think it's going to be a close game.
35-25. Well,
Yeah.
10 points. Relatively high scoring then.
Yeah.
Okay. So 35-25 Rams.
Yes.
So I am taking the Saints over the Rams. And my score is going to be, because you do know that they played earlier this season
Yeah.
in the Dome.
Yep.
And the Saints won, I believe it was 45-35. So what I am going to say the score of this game is going to be is 45-42. The Saints pull off the victory. Last minute field goal. The crowd goes crazy. I'm happy for Drew Brees. I try not to look at Sean Payton, and they advance to the Super Bowl.
But with the Vikings and Seahawks a few years ago, Blair Walsh could have kicked the field goal to win, but he messed up. So that may happen with the Saints.
Yeah, I hope not. Oh, yeah. You're going to go to the next game.
All right.
Next game, Patriots versus the Chiefs. Who do you have in this game, Journey?
I have the Patriots.
You have the Patriots.
Yeah.
You might be the only person in the world that has the Patriots. I am going to be going with the Chiefs. You want to go first with the Pats, or you want to go? Let me go.
I'll go with the Patriots first.
Fair enough.
All
Shoot.
right. So, Tom Brady is obviously a really good quarterback, and they have good wide receivers.
Greatest of all time, do you think?
Pretty close.
Okay.
But they might choke because they've been in so many Super Bowls. But, I mean, you never know if they're fired up enough, if they have enough experience in the playoffs.
Do you think, Journey, because I believe if I look at the line, I believe the Chiefs are 3-point favorites. So the Patriots, who have all these Super Bowls, Tom Brady, greatest of all time, Bill Belichick, he's brilliant. They're underdogs. People are betting on the fact that they're going to lose. Do you think they use that as motivation to get this victory?
Yeah, I do. Because, because if everybody thinks you're the underdog and you're going to lose, I feel like that's good motivation to push forward and to prove the people who think you're going to lose wrong.
Fair enough. Chiefs. I got the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been one of those offenses this year with Pat Mahomes throwing 50 touchdowns during the regular season. He's lighting up the scoreboard. They have receivers. Sammy Watkins is coming back as a strong wide receiver too. As a matter of fact, he almost has gotten overlooked this year because of the injuries. But, looking back in the past, he's been kind of a stud for a couple different teams, starting with the Bills. So I think his return could be big. I think the Patriots are going to certainly narrow in on Hill, stopping Hill. I think they're going to zoom in on the running game. There is a chance, the weather could be cold. That would concern me a little bit as a Chiefs fan, as much as it's a Chiefs home game. But I know that Tom Brady and the Patriots have won some games in the cold. And so depending on what that weather, I think the weather is going to be a huge part of this game. I also think that the Patriots running game is going to be a huge piece. If Tom Brady can and the Patriots offense can hold on to the ball, not turn it over and run the ball, and limit the amount of time that Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs have the ball on offense, I think that gives the Patriots a little bit of hope. I, however, do not believe that the Patriots are going to be able to run. I think that the Chiefs' front is going to step up. I think that they're going to stop the run. I think it's going to fall into Tom Brady's hands, and I think the Chiefs are going to blitz and bring the heat. I think that the Chiefs, certainly looking back to what happened last week with the Patriots and the Chargers, where the Chargers kind of laid back and tried to drop into coverage, didn't bring heat. Tom Brady just had time and found the open person. I think the Chiefs and Andy Reid are going to take notes from that and say, that's not the way to beat Tom Brady. Instead, we're going to bring the heat. We're going to stop the run. Chiefs are going to get the ball a lot more. Pat Mahomes, who's fearless. Today's maybe Brett Favre, except without the interceptions. 2009 Vikings Saints. Oh, Brett Favre. Forget that game. But Pat Mahomes without the interceptions. I think the Chiefs sneak out this game at home, which is also a Chiefs at home. It's an advantage, although if you were asking any Chiefs fan, Nathan, I think you'd find out that Chiefs have not fared real well at home during the playoffs until last week, and you have a new guy in town, Pat Mahomes.
Okay, well, I think, actually, it's more of a question. With number 18, Kelsey, kind of being like a hothead.
87? Isn't Kelsey 87?
I mean, yeah. Whoops.
87, yep. Being a hothead, okay.
Yeah. Do you think that if he gets thrown the ball and he drops it or gets pulling away or something with the refs, do you think they have another good wide receiver besides Sammy Watkins? Like, if he doesn't come back or if he gets hurt, do you think that they have a chance?
I think Kelsey is going to want to make sure that he stays in this game, and certainly not let the moment get too big for him. If Kelsey were to get kicked out or not be a factor in this game, and I assume Hill's going to be on the short list, I don't know if they have the depth after that. But I will tell you, Kelsey's a beast. I mean, in this game, really features probably the two best tight ends, although Gronk is hurt a lot, and he's not quite maybe the guy that he used to be, and we'll see if this is even his last game of his career, because Gronk has talked about retiring. But I think the Chiefs have a lot of firepower. I think Kelsey stays in the game.
I mean, you never know.
You can pick the score?
All right. I think Patriots are going to win, obviously. 45-32.
Okay, interesting. 45-32 Patriots.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the Chiefs. And I'm going to say the Chiefs are going to take care of the Patriots. And let me point out that in our little game here, I have gotten both home teams, which I feel pretty good about. The Chiefs playing at home against the Patriots. I know that the last time they played earlier this season, it was pretty high scoring. But the Patriots kind of taking the game with Mahomes. I mean, really the only difference was Mahomes throwing a couple interceptions. The rest of the game, however, he lit them up. I'm going to say that the Chiefs are going to win 41-38 with a last-second field goal to take the game at the end. So if we reflect on my predictions, both games will end in field goals at the end, and hopefully neither one will pull a Blair Walsh.
I feel like the field goals at the last second, I feel like that's probably not going to happen. Because, I mean, you know, if it's that close, like the Vikings game, it's going to get to their heads. And then they're going to be like, if I miss this, we lose. And it's going to be on me.
Patriots or the Chiefs, they have a pretty reliable kicker.
Well, yeah, but...
Although he hasn't kicked in the big moment.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a lot of pressure for a kicker, and it can get to their heads. Even if they are, like, really calm or whatever, they're good, they've made a lot of field goals, you never know when it's the playoffs.
So thank you for listening to Journey and her dad's very first podcast. As a reflection on what we just predicted, Journey predicts a Rams versus Patriots Super Bowl.
Yes.
Where I think everybody in the world would be rooting for the Rams.
Probably.
Because nobody wants the Patriots to win. Especially for a Vikings fan. It is just obnoxious that they've done as well as they have. Anyway, I am taking my Saints, or the Saints, and I'm taking the Saints, Drew Brees' Saints, not Sean Payton's Saints, because I don't like him. Drew Brees Saints against Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay, I have to say one more thing.
Okay.
For the Rams, it says that they have been doing very good on the road. So, like, I looked it up before we did this, and it said that they've done pretty well on the road. So,
We will just see. Adios.
Bing bong, that's it.